and welcome back to Indiethon 2022 in benefit of puppies behind bars. We've reached so far $1,026 raised in total for this amazing organization, so thank you so much for that, and I dare say, let's keep it going even further. But with that said, we're just about to see the start of a brand new run here at Indiethon, and that is Have a Nice Death, Any Percent by High Five from Ryan, and accompanied here by I'm Doing It for commentary. So that's enough from me for now, so how about you guys introduce yourselves?
Absolutely. My name is High Five from Ryan, and happy Pride Month, everybody. Hope you're all having a wonderful weekend, and I am joined by my good friend I'm Doing It.
Hey everybody, my name's Bill. I am in fact doing it, and we're about to go on a ride through Have a Nice Death. Ryan, you want to introduce the game a bit?
Absolutely. This is an indie game by Magic Design Studios, backed by Gearbox, and it's been great. It's a really fun game about death, and the Grim Reaper himself is getting kind of overworked, you know what I'm saying? So it's very relatable, where coffee is a healing source, and if that isn't a mood, I don't know what is. And we're going to go take this game very, very fast. It's a lovely game. It's currently in early access, and it's also currently on sale. That's so awesome. So I'm really excited about this game. Currently, I'm the world record holder in several categories, and I encourage you all to check this game out because, again, it's still currently in early access, and there's a lot of improvements and, or sorry, not even just improvements, but just like more content to be added to the game. So I'm super excited about that. Yeah, this is an any percent run. Meaning that I am gonna play this game as fast as possible, and what's nice about the speedrun in this game is it's all mostly intended. There's no going out of bounds or anything like that. I am literally playing what the game gives me. It's an action roguelike 2D platformer, so I think that pretty much explains the game so far until we get into it.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, buddy. So getting into Have a Nice Death, we're gonna have just a small handful of kind of key mechanics and actions, and Ryan's going to be able to show them off here as we go through the menu. We can jump, we can dash, and we get to swing our scythe. And those are like our three key components. The one other thing we have going for us is our spells, which is really what's going to drive the run and drive the pace. Here's where we start the run, the Spirit of the Elevator Jocelyn. Basically, what we're going to look for here, it's going to help mitigate some of the RNG in roguelikes. We're going to be able to pick up contracts that are going to give us rewards here at the start. So what we're picking up is a couple of spells and skills. They'll be completely random, but it at least gives us something to start with. We're going to pick up rerolls for curses, which we'll get into what they are when they start coming up in the run. And we're also going to be grabbing Prismium, which we're going to use to upgrade our spells.
Absolutely. And yeah, this is actually a brand new part of the game too, of the last patch. So that was just one thing that was implemented in just one patch. So really cool design by the whole dev team. And I can't wait. And we're ready to go. We got all of our things, and we're hoping to see 2 different spells here, and we'll get to them a little bit. But I think we're all ready to go.
Yeah, let's kick it off, buddy.
All right. Let's see. Fingers crossed. And all right, we got unlucky. We didn't get bees, but it's okay. We have 2 different. Well, we have 1 cloak and 1 spell. The cloak is a skill that doesn't use any mana. As you can see in the top left-hand side of our screen, we have a health bar that got significantly damaged, and we also have a mana bar as well. The skill on my Y is it's called Dagust, and it's a skill that we call cloaks in the game. It doesn't take up our mana bar, which is nice. And then on the B section we have it's called Myriad of the Stars, and that is our spell that uses mana, and it's pretty nice for other spell builds.
Myriad of Stars is definitely, well, it's not the perfect spell for us to have in a speed sense. Is definitely still a very viable spell. We're going to see here clearing out what is basically the primary section of the game in our first combat arena. So as we progress through each level, we're going to get locked into certain combat arenas that we cannot progress forward from until we've defeated all enemies. The game's kind of just divided into 3 key parts. We've got the combat arenas we just saw, these platforming sections we just cleared through, and then mini bosses and bosses, which we can kind of group together. We're actually running into our first mini boss called a Thanager. And this Thanager was just added in the most recent major update. It's going to be I can never remember his name, so thank you.
He is
but we're going to see Ryan
Thanager
work
as well.
through this. Now, something we're going to see right here, actually. If you look in the top left by where our spells are listed, there's a little purple meter that's filling up. And when Ryan did that big burst, it's kind of like your super move. So when you fill that up, you can do what's called a Fury Cast, and it gives you an elevated use of either your Scythe or one of your skills to help melt bosses. So we see Clean go down really quick there due to the Fury Cast on Myriad of Stars. Just shooting a bunch of projectiles going back and forth and cleaning out the health bar. We've also seen our first curse. We get +5 mana here. What we're looking for in our curses, basically curses are like meta power-ups. So that one gave us +5 to our maximum mana. We're really looking for what are called infusions. Infusions basically say whenever you hit something, whether that be with your Scythe, with a spell or ability, if Ryan sneezes too hard, he will get the benefit of that infusion. So things that we're looking for Infuse Bleed, which gives us a stacking damage buff every time that we hit an enemy. We're looking for Infuse Mana, the most important thing to the speedrun build, which basically says anytime you hit something, you get mana back. So we're trying to turn into just a machine gun of spells as quickly as we can.
Absolutely. We see our first little NPC here, and this is what we call a free room of the game. Free rooms are basically like, we progress through this whole level, and that's really it. But we get to spend our currency at the top right part of our screen. As you can see, we have 2 different types of currency. We have Solary, which sounds a little bit like celery, right? And we also have Prismium, which is a little bit more rare. That's why I took them early in the game when we saw Jocelyn. And this is our first sorrow of the game, Brad.
Our good friend, Brad. Brad is the head of security here in the Underworld, who has recently been far more concerned with the Underworld's YouTube, which they so affectionately call DeathTube. But Ryan's gonna be making pretty quick work of Brad here. We get another Furiad of Stars. We're sticking with it, chat.
What I really appreciate about a lot of these bosses and stuff too, like not just the Sorrows, but also like the Thanagers, they have a lot of different movesets, which makes them like pretty unpredictable at times. And so I know I'm making it look really, really easy, but I assure you, I have a lot of experience in the game. And if you tried it yourself, it's really not as easy your first go, especially when you don't have like as many, weapons or anything. So yeah.
Oh, for sure. And can I just say, Brad does look absolutely stunning when he explodes out in a 3-piece suit at the end of that fight.
Oh yeah, it fits really well.
So here's our first break in between biomes. Things that we got here, we've got the fridge, which gives us a one-time healing item, or it's not necessarily a healing item, but it gives us kind of a one-time use boost that we can pick up at any point in between biomes on the run. So we're going to be heading into our second biome here. This is Pollution, and it is home to my absolute favorite NPC in the game. This guy stuck on the signpost who points you in the right direction. He has saved so many of my runs, and he's great.
Also, Pumpkin. She is always, or they're always there for you no matter what. Pumpkin is always going to be there and cheering you on, assuring you that you are the best. So don't you worry about anything bad happening. You're going to do just fine.
Everyone needs a pumpkin in their life.
Absolutely.
So we're going to see Ryan doing a really good job here. It's something that I struggle with as a runner, of dodging all of these projectiles. It seems like some of the enemies in this game just have insane accuracy. You know, they're like the opposite of stormtroopers, right? They track you really well. And the fact that Ryan's able to get out of this arena where it's just a barrage of projectiles, only getting caught, I think, once in there, is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good shout too, because the AI that's developed in this game is super well done, because you can try to fake enemies out, but I can assure you they will still track you pretty well. So I know I make things look rather trivial, but I'll try to, yeah, they will track you no matter what, and they'll get some pretty insane hits on you.
Oh yeah, for sure. We did see a really big curse pickup here in that last curse offer. We got plus 15 spell damage, and like we had mentioned before, the build is really focused around using our spells as a primary damage source, so seeing just a flat plus 15 damage here is actually really huge. Looks like we're going to try to sneak off and find a hidden weapon. We get Poison Gift, and we're leaving it alone.
Yeah, that's not the biggest spell that we're looking for, but we get to see our other good
We
friend.
can see our first control room.
Mm-hmm. We got Oswald, right? Oswald is a little, Orville. Orville. We have a little robot here that has a bunch of facial expressions just kind of post-it noted to them. And Orville can help you upgrade your scythe, which is pretty cool, into different ways. But we're not looking to do that right now. We're looking to upgrade our Myriad of Stars. And that's
a big thing.
Yep, go on.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're fine.
A big thing that we're getting out of upgrading Myriad of Stars, whenever you level things up in this game, they tend to get additional abilities as well as a damage upgrade. So big thing with upgrading Myriad of Stars is as we level it, we're getting bonus percentage spell damage. And we're also getting bonus mana regen, which is going to help make up for if we don't see some of the pieces we're looking for. If we don't necessarily see the increased spell damage, or we don't necessarily see like an infused mana so that we essentially get infinite mana. Having that bonus spell damage and regen coming from Myriad of Stars is going to come in very strong.
Oops. We have a pretty nice health right now, so I mean, like, we're feeling pretty healthy, and we're just, you know, it's not empty. It's a lot fuller than it was before. Another curse that we took earlier as well is kind of like infused mana at home, which is like you get mana whenever you terminate or kill an enemy. So it's kind of like infused mana, but not for bosses, basically. I'm going to take Slima here, actually, instead of the shop. Even though a shop is a free room, and yes, it would be a time save for those that are smart cookies at home, I'm taking Slima because I'm taking Slima.
Also, something to mention here, taking Slima, something that I didn't mention in our first Thanager fight. Whenever you defeat a Thanager or a Sorrow, the bosses in the game, you are offered another curse. So while we're still looking for a lot of pieces to the build, we're looking for all of our infusions still, taking Slima here gives us another chance to roll in for those curses. And a big thing is making sure we get our build progression in.
Yep.
Slima goes down, and there it is. There's infused mana. So now, every time Ryan looks at an enemy sideways, he's going to get mana back. It's going to be great, and we're about to see where the run really starts accelerating. Like, we saw that Slima fight was relatively quick, but we're going to see just how strong infused mana makes you here entering our next Sorrow, Gordon Grimes. I believe his first name's Gordon,
Yeah,
but he's
Gordon.
a big slime boy.
He looks like a big, tough dude, but we're going to make him...
Gonna make him a real sad puddle real fast. So as we can see here, if you watch the mana bar in the top left as Ryan's casting his spells, you're gonna see it go down relatively quickly, And every time he hits, it's pretty much going to refill to full. And just like that, Grimes is gone. I do want to say, as easy as Ryan makes this look, these are incredibly difficult fights casually.
Again, they really are.
And
with speedrunning, we've pretty much optimized on which builds are currently strong right now in the current meta. But again, since this game is currently in early access, the devs do know about how strong these spells and everything can be. And so they are reworking and tweaking things as we speak behind the scenes. But as of right now, figured it'd be a nice way to show off what's currently strong in the patch and all the really cool things about this game, or why I love playing this game so much. This guy's Harriet. He's kind of like your coach in training. And we are currently now in the illness department.
Illness is the biome of the game that I like to say good runs go to die. It is a puzzle in and of itself sometimes. And there's plenty of places to lose time here. And this is also where the difficulty in the game really ramps up. The enemies here in Illness start to do a lot more damage. They're a lot more elusive for the most part. We've got some tricky enemies. We've seen those guys that have the big jacked arms, and they kind of look like brains, in my opinion, with legs. They leave a lingering explosion behind when they die, so it can be a really tricky place to try to navigate around all the enemies that are here. It's gonna be a fun part of the run for sure. We can see our buddies Jacob and Mr. Orville.
Mm-hmm.
I've always called him Pothead.
We get to see the other senator as well, the King D himself. And there's a lot of the names and stuff in this game actually have a good meaning behind it. And there's a real quick before I get into that. They also added something else into the game here, and if I use this, I get to open up a little secret area, which is kind of cool. You don't really see too many roguelikes or platformers kind of utilize healing resources as a means to opening up secret areas, but here we are.
So here's a fun fact about secret areas, guys. I've been a little away from the game personally, and when Ryan and I were doing kind of practice and warm-ups together, Ryan cracked open one of those secret rooms, and my mind was completely blown. It's a really cool thing they've added into the most recent content update, and it's super fun. We get infused bleed here. So if you thought our damage was high before, wait until you see this. Infused bleed, basically, again, our infusions say anytime we hit something, we get an effect. The bleed effect and Have a Nice Death is a stacking damage buff. So when you hit something and you give it bleed, you deal 1 bonus damage per strike. And that stacks up to 15 times. So when we have infused bleed and infused mana, we basically make it so every single thing we do does 15 flat bonus damage every time they get hit with something. It just becomes this kind of crazy damage scaling ramp up that you're gonna see here in a second. So we see the regular white damage numbers coming up, and then we're also seeing these numbers in red, which are the bleed damage procs we're getting. And now we're really getting to that point where we're gonna see Ryan just kind of delete everything as it appears on the screen.
Alright. Just like that, we are into the Sorrow Mr. Crank.
And Crank is another one of my favorites. Crank is just a giant crab. There's nothing else to it. He's just a big crab with a goofy claw.
Any crabs in chat?
So we're gonna see Crank's health bar is full, and Crank's health bar, he gets a sneaky phase in, but Crank's health bar is, he's gonna survive. Crank, what are you doing? Crank is gone. I feel like Ryan saw me get excited and held back just a hair to make me look like a fool, and I love it.
Just a little bit. Just a little.
Just,
we do
just
a little
enough
trolling,
to
it's
build it
fine.
up. And that's the end of Illness.
Yep. If you're like wondering, at the end of each boss kill, Shosaro kill rather, you notice like that giant blue orb that I pick up. They actually added that into the game, where it actually permanently increases your health by 20. So if you're feeling a little bit discouraged, that like, hey, like you beat a boss, but you didn't really feel rewarded for it, that really helps you because like healing at one time used to be really, really scarce in the game until they added a little bit of healing, but that part really helped out for those people that were really struggling in the game.
Yes, well, we're on the topic of healing. We can take a look at the health bar. So we see that Ryan has 135 max health in the top left there. But when he's picking up healing, he's not going above the threshold of 112. Basically, what happens in this game is as you take damage, some of that damage cannot be healed back, except in specific cases. Specific scenarios allow you to regain the black portion of your health bar. But when you take a hit, it reduces into basically gray health. Your gray health is what you can heal, so we're not going to see it very well here because Ryan's currently at his health threshold. But that black portion of the health bar cannot be brought back, except in a few specific instances.
Mm-hmm. That's fine though. I mean, we're feeling pretty safe with this health here. We'll even get a little bit more. Why not?
We're really comfy cozy here. Ryan, there's a wall there.
There's a wall there.
There was a wall there.
That's actually a huge point because in a lot of like roguelikes that you may play, don't really have the kind of like intense nature of platforming in this game. Whereas Have a Nice Death is really unique in that regard because these are not set maps or anything. These are all like generated, right? So like I don't have like all these things memorized. Like these maps change from every run you play, which makes everything unique. So it's not like, hey, I remember like this area, you know, and I know how to, you know, travel or navigate rather each room. They all have similar tiles, but no room is always going to be the same, which I always find like refreshing.
I think it's a key point to mention too that Have a Nice Death, while it is centered around the combat, obviously, it is still a platformer first. Mm-hmm. A lot of the time save is in proper movement, is in, you know, navigation and managing your way through rooms, just as much as it is efficiency of combat.
Mm-hmm. Here we have Candace, and Candace is really tough if you don't have if you're not prepared for her, because she is kind of like a cupcake Goku, if you will, in the sense that she can like instantly teleport and like sneak behind you to like Omewa Mao Shindiru you, and it's pretty insane. I'll show you what I mean here. So
she is an elusive cupcake,
and yeah, she just teleports and she hurts.
She hits you with the instant transmission. You've got no luck. There we go. And now we're just going to see Candace go.
But thankfully, I've played Candace enough, and you know, making it look pretty easy peasy. We'll take the shop because why not? Maybe we can find like a better spell or something to buy from Mark. Mark, our lovely headless truck driving friendo. And this is my favorite Sorrow of the game. His name is Max, and he's my favorite because he's so unique. in the sense of like how many different types of movesets that he has, how he's constantly changing his appearance, and how manic he is. I just love it.
And Max, I want to show some love to the dev team for the design of Max. Because as much as we hate the Max fight as runners, as somebody who appreciates game design, Max is probably my favorite designed boss in this game because it's such a change of pace from everything else we see in Have a Nice Death.
Absolutely. He's very aerial. As you can see, like he likes to stay up in the air sometimes. And not a lot of bosses are like that, which is pretty neat. Oh.
And we get Archdruid, which is the biggest damage buff that we can get in the game.
Yeah, we are schmoving for sure.
So with that, we're going to be transitioning into the final biome of the game, the Warfare Department. Here in the early biome, we're going to be seeing a couple of new enemies, but for the most part, a lot of the same things we've been seeing throughout the run. Did we have
Any smiles in
anything
chat?
we needed to plug from our host?
Yeah, host, how we doing?
All right.
Almost dropped my water.
Oh, don't drop your water.
Can't have that. Remember to hydrate. And for those also counting at home, like yes, like each biome has like unique enemies. So like there's not too many like recycled enemies or anything. Like all the artists and the devs like did a really solid job in like making and creating very unique landscapes, enemies, music. So big shout outs to them, and what a well polished game this is so far. Again, this game is still in early access, so pretty well polished game for what we've been given so far.
I'm wondering, do we have time for a few donations?
We
We absolutely do.
Wow, I love that synchronized response. All right, okay, so we've got a first $25 donation from Museus.
Let's go, Museus.
With a comment saying, loving seeing Hand on the big screen. Good luck, go fast, go bees, and have fun. And pet that dog. Wait.
Wrong game, Museus.
Yeah, big shout outs to Museus too. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, we've got a second $25 donation from Museus as well, with the same comment. I'm not sure if it was meant, if it's an error, because there were some issues with the donations being in limbo. But in any case, thank you so much for those donations. We've got another $69 donation from Zeg.
Nice.
With a comment. Exactly, very nice. With a comment saying, Happy Pride for the puppies and for clean-shaven Ryan. So thank you so much for the donation, Zeg. And finally, we've got a $20 donation from Mr. Bacanudo, with a comment saying, heard about the event and the great cause from Ryan, so I had to donate in time for the Have a Nice Death run. May the infused renegades bestow the blessing upon you, and have a nice run. So, thank you so much everyone for your donations, it's amazing. We're now sitting at $1,165 in total for puppies behind bars. That's absolutely amazing. So, thank you, and let's keep it going.
Yeah, thank you all so much for the generosity.
We're actually just in perfect timing moving into our next Thanager. I can never remember this Thanager's name.
Her name is Camille, last name Flage. So if you kind of say it together, it's like camouflage. So,
Good old camouflage.
as I was saying earlier, a lot of these names like actually do kind of have a meaning behind them, which is pretty funny. They're a little punny, and I love it. I'm here for it. But yeah, thanks everyone for the generosity. Again, big shout out to Museus, as if not for him, we wouldn't really have an auto splitter and a load remover for this game. So for those that might be interested in what I'm doing right now, please, check it out. Because of Museus, like we have a nice, easy load split kind of thing, or for live split, that helps it start the time for you, and also removes the load time in between load screens, which is nice because that would be really annoying. So it's yeah. Also, big shout out to everyone that's been. Yeah, just to everyone, like, to even if you're not donating money, like, yeah, just being here is it's a huge honor, honestly.
Also, fun fact about Museus, I think it's fair for both of us to say that Museus is probably one of the most influential people in both of our speedrunning careers. So really, really big shout outs to Museus for kind of shepherding us through our times speedrunning in different games.
Yeah, most definitely. He was the one guy that got me to even like get into this game. He's like, "Hey, have you checked out this game yet?" And I was like, "Wait, what?"
But here we are, guys. This is the final boss of the run. This is Major. I can't say his last name, and I'm not going to try.
Warren Plishkin.
But
Plishkon?
I'm glad
Plishkon.
you can pronounce things. But we should be seeing time coming up here relatively shortly. Getting a little bit of damage.
Time.
And that is the run.
All right, GG's.
Yeah, just big thank you to everyone that just came out to see the run. I know we went a little bit over. We were kind of like memeing around a little bit, just to like show off more parts of the game. My current world record is 16 minutes and 1 second, and a lot of my runs before this were a lot faster than this current run. But I wanted to show off this game and how fun it and charming it is. Trying to give Death his well-deserved vacation, but not today. So maybe you all at home can go give Death a vacation by checking it out on Steam. It's on sale right now. It's under $15 American, so I think it's a huge bargain of a game. And a big thank you to everyone that is just here watching the whole marathon, putting money to really good cause, Puppies Behind Bars, and a big thank you to Bill, my good friend and the host.
All right, thank you so much for those kind words. Just before we go into intermission, I just want to say we got one last donation that I will be reading here just before we go off. That is a $20 donation from Emily Rye. I hope I did not mispronounce your name. It has a comment saying less than 3, and indeed less than 3 to you as well for your donation. Thank you so much. That means we now have reached a total of $1,185 total for Puppies Behind Bars. That's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for that. Also, just as we're about to head off to the intermission, which will be, if I'm not mistaken, for Pez Bingo. So definitely you want to stay tuned for that. This is the end of my hosting shift. So I just want to say good luck to Prosec, who's going to be following up on the hosting duty. GG's to High Five from Ryan and to I'm Doing It for this run. And keep donating, everyone. And also, last little shout out before we go. Remember, we still have an incentive. So definitely donate towards that. But yeah, thank you, everyone. And we'll be seeing you after a short intermission. Bye!